Now let's look at what Chat GPT can do for students who are at different levels in language learning. So I'm asking it to create a simple story here for a student, for example, who's learning English but who finds native level material still too difficult. So they need easier material, they need easier sentences, simpler vocabulary, shorter sentences, etc. So I've asked the AI to create a story about a brave, handsome Irish man who travels around the world learning languages and making videos. And here is what it has created. And in my view, this is really quite impressive. I think this is a really well written story. It's exactly what I asked for. It's a full story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. We could easily make it longer by just asking it to write a 1,000 word story or whatever. So I'm quite impressed by this. But let's imagine that the student finds this a bit too difficult. So in that case, the student could ask the AI to make it simpler by using a request like this. Please make the story simpler so that a 7-year-old could understand it. And now we get basically the same story, but it's shorter. The sentences are even more short. The vocabulary is even more simple. But again, it's a very well written story. So I find this really quite exciting for what a difference this could make for language learners. Let's try it in different languages. So now I'm asking it to write a story in Spanish. Again, a simple story that a 7-year-old could understand. And this story should be about an open sandwich who wanted to find another piece of bread so that it could start a family. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but basically, the sandwich set off on its journey to find another piece of bread. Things were looking difficult for a while. It was up in the air as to whether it would actually be able to find another piece of bread. It looked like it might end up being lonely forever, but thankfully, to everybody's relief, it did eventually find somebody, and there was a happy ending. But again, an excellent piece of writing, really a really appropriate piece of writing for somebody who was learning Spanish. Now I'm going to ask it in French for a little story in Chinese. So again, like in the last video, this is showing how capable it is in different languages. Whether you put the request in a different language, or you ask for the content to be written in a different language, it doesn't matter. It seems to be equally capable of producing different kinds of content in different kinds of languages, regardless of what the input language is. And again, this story that it produces here in Chinese is very good in my view. I think it's much better than most of the stories I saw in Chinese textbooks when I was learning Chinese myself.